The real information has come out, finally verifying the cancellation of your so-called star, none other than Rachel Zegler. Previously, you knew her for the West Side Story performance, but now you're going to keep her in mind as the disaster creator of Disney's ill-fated Snow White remake. By the end of this video, you'll literally wonder why the heck Disney hired her, and why wasn't she canceled sooner rather than later.
Even though Rachel Zegler is the most hated actress in all of Hollywood, Rachel Zegler's Snow White live action trailer has 12,000% more dislikes than likes.
But let's also expect the fact that Hollywood big film houses have been in full-blown meltdown mode in 2024, and Disney is leading the charge. And predictably so, because they've been stubbornly sticking to their beloved DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion agenda. And unsurprisingly, it has backfired spectacularly. Their ongoing disaster? None other than Snow White 2025. And at the center of it all is Zegler, who somehow managed to turn what should have been her golden opportunity into a PR nightmare. First, let's address the lifeline of this hundreds of millions of dollars disaster, Rachel Zegler's, and let's say her bold political comments. Instead of winning over audiences, her remarks lit a fuse that blew up in her face. The backlash was so intense that Disney had to step in and essentially force her to issue an awkward apology. But here's the kicker. The damage was already done. The public wasn't buying it, and the outrage only kept growing. Now you'd think this would be a wake-up call for Disney. Nope. Instead, they've been scrambling behind the scenes, trying to salvage the film, and by extension, Zegler's reputation. Spoiler alert, it's also not going well.
First off, it's been ratioed harder than anything. This is a harder ratio than The Acolyte. So in case Disney wonders what's on the horizon, this like 12-to-1 ratio is.
Now here's where it gets juicy. Between Zegler's controversy, the general public trashing Snow White, and the never-ending drama between Disney's execs, this fiasco is causing major headaches for Bob Iger and his crew. Even Greta Gerwig, the famous writer behind the film, and the director Mark Webb are regretting and wondering how the hell they got roped into this mess. Disney's decision-making has been really problematic. They've been frantically pulling strings to avoid more damage. But it seems every move they make only digs the hole deeper. And the outrage from the public? It's not going anywhere. In fact, it's gaining momentum. The next ingredient in the recipe for disaster is the elusive Snow White trailer. Disney has been hiding this thing like it's classified intel. A lucky few saw it during a private screening, but the studio is refusing to release it widely. Why? Because they know it'll be ripped to shreds online. The fact that they're holding it back says everything you need to know about their confidence, or lack thereof, in this project. Now here's where things take a dramatic turn. Disney has taken some pretty extreme actions against Zegler. For starters, they've canceled nearly all her performances related to the film. And we're not just talking about minor appearances. The big one? A planned singing performance at the world premiere of Snow White in March 2025. Zegler was supposed to dress up as Snow White, guitar in hand, and charm the audience with her vocals. That's officially off the table now. But wait, there's more. Zegler was also set to perform at the 2025 Oscars as part of the film's press tour. Yep, that's been scrapped too. And if you think that's bad, Disney has also nixed several interviews that were supposed to showcase Zegler as the face of their DEI push.
I mean, you know, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
As a matter of fact, Zegler isn't taking this lying down. Word is, she's furious. Her team is already accusing Disney of discrimination, claiming the studio is reneging on promises made in her contract. Behind the scenes, insiders describe her behavior as unhinged, with tensions boiling over between her and Disney execs. The actress is looking for some ways to take legal action or otherwise fight back against what she sees as a betrayal by the studio. Meanwhile, Disney is in full damage control mode and trying to manage the fallout from a film that hasn't even hit theaters yet. At this point, it's really hard to predict what Disney will do to get out of this situation. But the public has made it clear they're not interested in a Snow White remake fully coated in controversy. Zegler's involvement, combined with the studio's unstoppable efforts to promote their agenda, has turned what should have been a classic reimagining into a disaster of epic proportions. And here's the bottom line. When your lead actress is trapped in a drama, your trailer is MIA, and your marketing plans are falling apart, it's safe to say the ship is sinking fast. And its crew is in toxic positivity that is letting them know what's really happening.
About what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. But
wait, if you thought the Rachel Zegler and Snow White saga couldn't get any messier, think again. Disney's handling of this fiasco is reaching new levels of stupidity, and the cracks are becoming impossible to hide. From canceled performances to disastrous test screenings, the situation has gone from bad to worse, and it's taking Zegler's career down with it. Why? Snow White was not just any project for her, it was the project that would determine the dynamics of her success in Hollywood. As if everything happening with the project was not enough, Snow White's test screenings made it a final straw. 7 rounds in, and not a single one has landed well with audiences. This isn't just a minor hiccup, it's a major red flag. And with the latest trailer still locked away like some kind of studio secret, it's clear Disney is struggling to figure out their next step. The delay is reportedly to buy time, but let's be real, it's more like delaying the inevitable. So what could get even worse for Snow White live action and its protagonist? Disney has started slashing Zegler's involvement left and right. Public appearances, gone. The Oscars performance? Canceled. Even her holiday parade gigs, which were supposed to drum up excitement for the film, have been quietly axed. For a movie that was already struggling, losing these marketing moments is the equivalent of throwing it into the deep end without a life vest.
That, and then even Disney got on its heels and they're like, we're gonna reshoot the movie immediately. Like, we're gonna make some changes because there was so much backlash to her arrogance and just inanity. Well, she's back.
Naturally, Zegler isn't staying quiet about this. On social media, she's pointing fingers, accusing Disney of discrimination, and claiming her career is being derailed by online vitriol. But here's the twist. Disney's execs are firing back. According to them, Zegler's own comments and social media presence are the real culprits. They argue that her inability to read the room has created a PR nightmare, and cutting her from the spotlight is their attempt at damage control. Here's where things get interesting. The Zegler effect is becoming a cautionary tale for Hollywood. Studios are rethinking their casting choices after watching this disaster happening around Snow White. Take Blumhouse Productions, for example. Zegler was planned to star in a new horror trilogy meant to compete with Scream. That deal? Gone. She was unceremoniously dropped, further proving that her reputation might be becoming a liability in an industry that thrives on public appeal. Zegler has proven herself to be a controversy machine in the last 2 years. Be it around the movie itself or other political issues, she didn't miss any chance to spark a controversy. Remember tensions between her and her co-star Gal Gadot that were fueled by her clashing views on the Israel and Palestine war. This clash between the 2 main stars of the show has also destroyed its PR campaigns already, but the movie itself, it was also not free of public hatred. Disney's plan to move so far from Snow White's source material brought a storm of criticism online. Fans have been vocal about their frustration with the changes, and it's only adding fuel to the fire. Ironically, the character's name comes from her surviving a literal snowstorm in the original story, something the remake has conveniently overlooked. This creative disaster in tempering the lore is turning off Disney's core audience, leaving Snow White in a miserable position before it even hits theaters.
Disney's first film that they ever won an Academy Award with was Snow White. It's beloved by, children and parents all over the world. And she says that that's actually a very creepy story. A woman doesn't need to be rescued by a prince, and just attacks the film that is the cornerstone.
So how bad is it for Rachel Zegler? Between the controversies, the public backlash, and the increasing setbacks, she is not setting herself on the right path. See, her big project Snow White is shaping up to be a box office bomb, and it won't be good for her upcoming year. In the end, the Snow White disaster is more than just a PR nightmare. It's a wake-up call. Disney's gamble on Zegler and their broader agenda has worked badly, and now the final disaster is yet to be seen next year when the movie will be released. What do you think about the disastrous remake of Snow White and the unhinged behavior of Rachel? Let us know in the comments below. Remember to subscribe for more videos on woke Hollywood projects. See you in the next one.